few weeks ago, and we've just been finalizing like the process to streamline everything. So we got a little MLS credibility packet, and she's been looking at properties for us, and so we submitted an offer today. So that's exciting.
Yeah, it's a huge win. Congratulations. It's awesome. And Liz, hopefully that was good on your end.
Oh yeah, no, it's really
You're
good.
like,
That's
what?
her lane. That's her lane. So that's really good. So that's where she does that. And then if the offer gets accepted, or like if there's any interest, then I go out and meet with the people. So that's good. So we'll see each other tomorrow, but that's very exciting.
That's
and
where the perfect partnership happens.
Yeah,
that's where the partnership happens, right? That's how me and Sean, certain lanes. Right now we're in the process of developing hiring more developers. That's my lane. So he's like, I have confidence in you. Do it. Just do what you got to do. So
and that's exactly. I don't need to question whether she thought that was. She obviously knows it was a good deal to submit an offer. So I don't have to question that. Then she just passes it on. If it does become viable, that I go out and meet with them then. And that'll be good too. So awesome, I can say though, if Sean, we can't go down into the canyon and get him, but we're certainly not too far from the canyon if he needs something.
Yep.
Depends on if he's closer to the north or south rim though, but.
I think they're already driving back. I think they're already out and driving back. So he was having trouble trying to connect, and it was a little bit of, I told him, don't even worry about it, man. Just I'll take it from here. That way they can, get home safe.
I'll be there Friday, but I'm hiking, like where normal people hike, not like where the back roads like Sean likes to go on.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I love the Grand Canyon. It's like, I can't wait to get back to the States. I'm going to have to go visit Kyle and take him down there so he can guide me through there. Sean too.
Definitely.
Kyle,
it's awesome.
Where are you? Kyle, where do you live?
I'm in Vegas.
Oh, you are. So he'll go north and we'll come up from the south.
Yeah.
See you on July 10th there, Kyle. Me and Jordan will see you on July 10th, man.
All right. I'll put you on my schedule.
Nice. What's up, Kim? How's it going?
Hi, Roger. Hi, everybody. Going good.
Awesome. So I saw another podcast go out. I don't know if it was the older one, but I always try to catch up, but I got an opportunity to continue to watch, and man, you guys are killing it. You guys are doing awesome with that podcast.
Well, thank you for the support. We're trying.
No, you guys are doing amazing. Really love the artwork. It's everything. I was not involved in any of that stuff, so every time I look at it, I'm coming in as an outsider, and it's really eye catching. So I think you guys did a great job branding that thing. It's good.
That was all Sean.
Oh, there you
go.
All
we did was say we like it. We just gave it a thumbs up.
Right on. And let's see here, just going down the line here. Oh, go ahead. I thought someone had said something.
We did have a part in the logo.
Oh yeah.
There you go. Lorraine, yeah, there you go. We got Lorraine popping in. Awesome, Lorraine. Lorraine, so I've been just kind of going down the horn, just saying what's up, but let's kind of do what Sean usually kind of does on here. But do you have any wins for us?
Any wins? Let's see. I feel like I do, but I can't. So I was asked to be on another, I guess somebody else's platform in like a couple of weeks. Like she said, she's been seeing my social media and different things that I've been doing. So she asked me to speak on her platform in a couple of weeks. So I think that's a win. We finally got a YouTube channel for our podcast, even though I don't know if it's operational yet, but I mean, that's a step in the right direction. So yeah, I feel like there was something else that happened, but I can't recall right now. So yeah, I would go with those as my wins.
Awesome. Well, it sounds like you guys are moving. Sounds like things are happening over there. So happy to hear that. Yes. See who else do we have? So I want to call on Jackie. I saw Jackie Williams. How's it going, Jackie? So just quick before I have Jackie share. Jackie's one of our newest clients. I was on a call with her her and her partner Maria earlier today. So they are just kicking off. This is their first meeting. So welcome, Jackie. Just want to say hello.
Hi, I was eating. That's why I went off camera.
You're fine.
It's dinner time here. I don't know what time it is in Guam right now.
Oh man, it's brunch. It's 10 a.m. over here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so we just, literally just joined. We just set up our email account today with Roger, and we are taking some baby steps. I don't think Maria's on, but Maria Clifford is my business partner, and we're Fortune Builders. Is everybody here Fortune Builders?
Many. There's quite a bit. There's quite a bit.
Okay. So we're Fortune Builders mastery students, and we're located in Maryland, in Washington, D.C., Baltimore area.
Yeah, we're gonna be neighbors.
We're waiting for you. We're waiting for you.
Awesome.
Yeah, so looking forward to a really great relationship with you guys, because your expertise is phenomenal. So glad we hooked up with you, and I can't wait, for things to really start happening. So we're happy to be here.
Awesome. Well, likewise. And as you can see, the network's all about, who you network with, who you're involved with, questions. We try to be as open as possible. Obviously, that's why I invited you guys to hop on, even though you guys are brand new, still in the process of development. There's still some nuggets you can take from this, right? And then just implement as soon as you go in, or there's some things that you can be doing even before you even go live. So We're good. So guys, just for respective time, I do have kind of a full presentation here. So I want to kind of make sure that I get through a lot of this stuff and give you guys an opportunity to ask some questions at the end. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead for the rest of you guys. Welcome to the call. I'm sure we have a couple more people popping in, but we are about 11 minutes after the hour. So I will kind of kick this off. So today's presentation, I'm going to kind of go my style a little bit. I'm going to get away from the slideshows. Last week was a disaster for me, but it's all good. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to run this more as a tutorial. This video will live this. I think some of this knowledge that I'll share with you guys today will be something that you guys can use over and over, and something you can come back to. So I want to make sure that I kind of follow everything step by step. If you want to take notes, take notes. If not, the recording is going to be available to you guys. But what we're going to do, we're going to be discussing keyword research. And then after we cover a couple tools and tips and tricks about keyword research, then I'm going to talk very specifically on how you use those keywords. So the reason I want to cover the keyword research tools first and a couple of those tips is because you can't really do anything in your content or even have any ideas without actually finding out what people are talking about in industry, right? Or the topic that you're doing, or even what Google's actually rewarding in regards to a keyword around a topic. So keyword is probably the most important thing that you can do when you're thinking about content. Okay. So with that said, I want to go ahead and kind of kick it off with our first tool that I want to share with you guys. I'm going to run through it really quick. I'm not going to go in full detail because more exposing you guys to the tool and getting you going. And in future kind of calls or even one-on-ones or even YouTube tutorials that Sean and I will do, we'll see what the interest is and we'll go a little deeper. But with just the information that I'll provide today will be enough to get you guys going. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So I'm right here. I just have a simple Google search here. So the first tool that we are going to go after is one you might be familiar with if you've been with us for a while. I shared this a while back, but it's Ubersuggest. So when you start typing it in, you don't even have to type in the whole thing. As you guys can see, as you start typing, Google will actually give you some results of what you're typing in, and all you have to do is click on it. And you'll get these results here. So don't be alarmed when you see kind of the domain here. It says Neil Patel. Neil Patel is an awesome marketer, great SEO, someone I follow myself, but this is his tool. This is something that he developed, he came out with, and he owns this tool. So it's very, very credible, right? So we're going to go ahead and click on this link here. It says Ubersuggest. He has two versions of this. So he has the free version and he has the paid version. So you do have an opportunity. He changes it once in a while. So don't be alarmed. A couple months from now, you try to use it and you only have a certain amount of tries. So currently, I believe he's giving you 3 keywords per day. Now, this tool I would utilize once you kind of done a little bit of research on your own and have a list on maybe a spreadsheet of a couple of keywords, and you're trying to find out more ideas or how difficult it's going to be to actually rank for an actual keyword or whatnot. So this is where we'll go. We'll kind of, since we have a lot of real estate investor type clients on right now, I just kind of looked at the list. If you're not real estate investing, don't worry about it. Basically, it's a keyword right here. So what I'm going to type in here is a very popular one. We buy houses for cash. So we buy houses for cash is what I call a long tail keyword, obviously, because it has a lot of words in that phrase. A short tail keyword or kind of a primary keyword would be something with 1 or 2 words. But as you get longer, we start calling them long tail keywords, and they tend to be a lot easier to rank. So in this one right here, we buy houses for cash. Basically, what I'm trying to do is just find out what the competition is, get some data. Is it worth me going after? So what I'm going to do is go ahead and click search here. And what this is going to do is going to start processing the information that Neil Patel and his Ubersuggest tool has and what kind of data is out there. This is all aggregated data, right? That's aggregated and grabbed by a lot. Don't think it's coming directly from Google. That is false. Anybody that tells you that these tools are getting stuff directly from Google is not true. Okay. Even I've had to find out the hard way, kind of going, and throughout the years, we kind of seen it there. Google does not share the data. Right? So that's a very, very important thing to know. So all these numbers are arbitrary, meaning they're just guides. So what you can do, what you're using this data for, is to guide you on what keywords you should be going after. So what Ubersuggest does really well, it tells us we buy houses for cash. There are on average per month, and this is based off of about a 12-month average. There's about 3,600 people actually searching for this keyword nationwide. Okay, so this is something that gives you kind of a green flag and says, hey, wow, there's a lot of search volume, a lot of people looking for this. I better add this to my website, right? If you're not in real estate investing, it can be another phrase, social media marketing or whatever it might be for us, right? That's something that we're looking for. And then the second item here, SEO difficulty, is very important for you to know. That score goes from 1 to 100. So right now we're looking at a difficulty score of 34. So that 34 basically tells us, it's not super easy, right? But it is, on this side of the 50, right? So when I look at these, I always try to look at the 50%. So if we're looking, the score is from 1 to 100, then 50 is halfway mark. So anything on the lower end of 50 is probably something that's worth your while. Anything that's above it, there's just too much competition. When I say competition, there are too much of you guys going after the same keyword, right? So there's too much people that are kind of optimizing on their websites, and it's going to take too long or just not going to be possible for you to rank for that particular keyword. So that's why I kind of have a threshold. Anything 50 and lower is what I like to go after and add to my websites. All right, so that is that score there. Paid difficulty. This is more for people running PPC and paid ads. How difficult is it? How many people? As you can see, the number's higher, 67. That means this keyword is highly, highly used in paid ads. And you can even see the cost. The average person running a paid ad is paying $68.17 for every click that they get. So that's a lot of money. So when we talk SEO, which is the organic rankings, and then you compare it to paid ads, this is the comparison. With SEO, if you do it on your own, it's basically free. If you use an agency like Top Results, it's going to cost you a little money because you're going to be using experts to kind of optimize your website and get you where you need to be. But there'll be certain things that we can follow. With paid, you're going to create a landing page. You're going to pay money, whatever that might be, right? If you're doing it yourself, then you're only paying for your ad spend, basically how much you want to spend per month. Say you're spending $1,000. Well, each time someone clicks on your landing page, they're charging you $68. So whatever that takes, how many clicks that's going to take to get to 1,000, then your ad disappears. And if you decide to run ads for a month and then you take it off, that's all you get, right? It's like turning on a hose and then turning it off. There is no authority with SEO. Doing it this way and putting keywords on your website, optimizing the correct way and doing the long game, that authority, as you go up in the ranks, they don't go away. They stay there. Even if you stop, someone else has to come up and try to beat you out for that ranking to drop. So hopefully that kind of makes sense with SEO and paid ads. But this data right here can start helping you make some decisions. Now, Ubersuggest, as you scroll down, you start seeing some more cool stuff here. For example, the search volume gives you a little bit of a history. So it kind of tells us that this trend is trending up. So that's all we're going to look at here is like, this is actually pretty cool. It's actually trending up. So we want to kind of keep an eye on that. Sometimes you find keywords that are trending down. Now, is that an indicator for you not to go after that keyword? Maybe not. Maybe there's less search volume, but less people like us going after it, which means there's more opportunity for you to win that, meaning for you to rank number one and get whatever traffic is lingering there to get that traffic to your website. So once again, it's one of those things that depends on what your campaign and your goals are, what you're going after. All right. So we'll keep scrolling down here on Ubersuggest. What else they have for us? Keyword ideas. This is major. So I typed in our keyword there. Let's go back up to make sure I get it right. We buy houses for cash. And this tool takes that keyword, runs it through its data, and then spits out some additional keyword ideas that you can utilize as well. Not only that, but it gives you a quick snapshot of the volume, right? How many people are searching for this, and the rest of the metrics. Like obviously they abbreviate some of the stuff, but the difficulty and the paid CPC, which is the cost per click. But these are quick kind of snapshots. You can always click on these icons and they continue to give you more data. I will warn you, don't click too far in because you just get overwhelmed, right? So for this particular tutorial, for this lesson today, I want you to focus on just the surface. So if you put in a keyword here, we buy houses for cash, and you really like these metrics, you're like, man, that's good. Then all you have to do is scroll down, go to the keyword ideas, put this on a spreadsheet, obviously take out the duplicates, and then make sure that you add these variations to the same page that you're creating for your main keyword, which is this one right here, right? And then we'll keep going down. What else does it give us? Content ideas. Now, a big question that we get, all right, Roger, we did our keyword research. We've got it on a spreadsheet. We're ready to write. Now we're stuck. We have no idea what the heck to write, right? Because now, I mean, I'm not a writer. I'm not a blog writer. I'm not nothing. Where do I get ideas on how to utilize these keywords? Very simple. Ubersuggest literally gives you these content ideas. These are other websites on the internet, basically your competitors that are actually writing and utilizing these keywords in their content. So a good idea is to actually put these on a spreadsheet as well and go check them all out and then score them, right? Read through them, get ideas for your own content. You can even take one of them that you really like and have your blog writer, if you're the writer, if you hired a writer, have them rewrite that piece of content. And that's how you start optimizing. Now, you can have them rewrite it. I didn't say copy it, right? Not directly copy it and add it to my website. That's not what we're talking about. It's more of a creative writing type scenario here, right? So you get that blog post and you have them rewrite it. What I usually suggest and tip that I'm going to give you here would be, one, make sure if you have a list of keywords, make sure that they're all being utilized. Some of these that are ranking very well and that are on this list aren't using all the keywords that are in here. So you can plug in some of your extra keywords. Number two, make it unique. How do you make it unique? Put some testimonials for that topic, whatever it might be, right? Something that's related to your business. Number two, some case studies. Talk about it. Bring out your expertise. There is a ton of opportunities within the content where you can just stop in between paragraphs and give an example of how you do it, your methodology, your way. And that's how you start making this piece of content that you're rewriting extremely unique to you. Even though, and the reason it's important to not veer off or get too out of the box away from this content is because this content's already this is what's being rewarded, the high ranking. So why would you go and create something 100% unique when Google's already told you what they're ranking very high? All you have to do is make it unique to you. So it's not duplicate, in other words. There was a question, I believe, last week where we were talking a little bit about duplicate content. If you just copy and paste it, right? Is that going to hurt your rankings? There is a major kind of like discussion or whatever you want to call it online, whether that's going to hurt your rankings or not. Basically, our position as of now with the information that we have, it does not hurt your ranking. It just doesn't help it. Because what Google does, it takes the oldest or the one that has the most credibility, and that's the piece of content they rank, the one that was first there first. So you come in and just copy and paste. Google's going to scan your website and say, I already have this, so I'm not going to rank you at all. Not that it's going to hurt you, it just won't put you up there and not give you an opportunity to rank high. All right, so that's what we have there. And that's basically Ubersuggest in a nutshell. So we'll kind of go back up here and we'll just kind of do a quick rundown, make sure you got everything. Ubersuggest, put in your keyword. It's going to give you some metrics here. With those metrics, you'll make a decision whether you want to utilize it for whether it's a blog post or a city page or a service page. Then you'll take these keyword ideas and sprinkle these into that piece of content because all this is related. And then if you're stuck and you don't know what to write about, you need a starting point, then you utilize these content ideas. Okay, so that right there is Ubersuggest. So let's go ahead and move on to the next item or the next tool that we have. And this one right here is actually a Google tool. So this is Google Trends. Oops, here. Great. When you spell something wrong, Google even helps you there. So we'll go ahead and click that one. And it's the first result. If you do the search, it's going to be the first result there. All right, so as you can see, if you're like me, I'm located in Guam. So what I have to do is kind of change my location here, make sure that we are utilizing the United States real quick. So your geolocation. Should be right here. There we go. Boom, and then it starts automatically, it kind of refreshes everything. This is pretty cool because this is basically the trends that are happening on Google. This, I can only speak for what's here, right? But apparently this is Google giving us a little sneak peek of their data, right? This is as close as it's gonna get. But you can see they put some things that kind of capture our attention. Kim Kardashian, just kind of how she's, and Taylor Swift, how they're trending and what states they're trending in. And they highlight everything, the World Cup, where it's trending throughout the world. Football, you can kind of see where it's trending, things like that. So what we're going to do is how our keywords trend on Google, right? So what we're going to do here, we're going to take something, maybe we'll take, I don't know. Well, let's do this. We buy houses for cash, because this is probably going to be the best example, at least for this group. So, all right, so what are the trends? Number one, what are the trends for this one keyword? What's going on with this one keyword on Google according to this data right now? So what Google's telling me is that, you know, there's some up and downs, but there's some good stuff. It's not completely trending down and it's not completely trending up, right? And it gives you some parameters. Usually it's about 4 to 5 days parameters on how many searches were there on that particular day. This is important information because if it continues to say 0, 0, 0, 0, you might want to stay away from that. But if you have numbers, then you're good. We kind of saw that there was, if we go back to Ubersuggest and we go to the top, we see that according to Neil Patel's information, there's about 3,600 people searching for this a month. This is an average based on 12 months, right? So here on trends, you can see that every couple days there are, you know, here there was 100 people that searched for it you know, between the 13th and the 19th of December. If we go closer to today, say there was about 29 people that searched it between the 25th of April and the 1st of May. So it's the trends here showing me. But more powerful is once you have your list of keywords, Maybe you're deciding which one's going to be your title, and we're going to get into how to lay your page out, right, with all these keywords. But this tool is going to help you how to decide which one's going to be your main title and which ones are going to be your subtitles, right, that you're going to put throughout the content. And say we're writing something, we buy houses for cash, and then we want to see how does that compare to sell my house fast. Oops. Now it gives me a chart with 2 lines. Now this is extremely cool and very important for you, because now you can see, all right, I'm going to put in, and you can put a number of different comparisons. You can have as many lines in here as possible. So what you want is always to see the one that's trending and has the most search. So you want that to be the main title of your page. So if you're doing a blog post and you did your keyword research and you have a list of like 50 keywords, maybe you go after, you start looking and you're like, man, I can't decide which one I'm going to actually use, which keyword I'm going to use as my main keyword that's going to be at the top, right? So you can, maybe you have it down to maybe 3 to 5 keywords that you want to compare. Throw them in here. Google Trends, throw them in here, compare them, and you'll get these lines. And what I would do is make your main keyword the one that has the highest pretty much trends on the top. And that's basically how you use them. If you want to go a little further, we can actually see how this is trending throughout the US. As you can see, sell your house fast is way more popular, right? It's all over the place. If you see we buy houses for cash, these are the more kind of the areas where they get searched the most. So this is how you start kind of making some decisions. Now, does this mean if you're located in Maryland or somewhere like that, or somewhere else that's not highlighted here, you should not go after this? No, that's actually might be a good thing, because the competition is lower. That means you might have a better opportunity to rank faster, right? The people in Florida, Texas, and California, they're smiling. They're like, man, good, I'm highlighted. That means there's more competition, which means they're probably going to have to optimize more to be able to rank for those type of keywords. Hopefully that made sense there. And that's basically, in a nutshell, once again, how to use Google Trends with your keywords, your keyword list that you're getting. Okay. And then we are now going to the final tool, and then we're going to go into some tips here. But the next tool that I want to share with you is going to be, it's called Answer the Public. As you can see, it gives me the result here. Another one we have actually introduced to the group in the past, still very, very strong. So Answer the Public, once again, it's a free version and a paid version. So the free version gives you a couple tries per day. And then, you got to wait 24 hours before you can do it again. But how do you use this is another tool that gives you just a ton of data, a ton of information on content ideas, keywords. And I like the way they organize this, because why would you do the same keyword research or the same process on all these tools? Because what you're doing, you're creating and you're aggregating a list. So once you say you follow this process and you did your Ubersuggest and you did keywords everywhere, and you did the next one that I'm about to show you, and you ended up with a big list, then you just get rid of the duplicates, and now you have a solid list based on multiple platforms. Because if you remember what I said at the beginning, all this data is arbitrary, which means some of these tools might give you something different, a little bit different, and you can actually add and make sure that you optimize to the max with the resources that you have. So with here, we're going to use a little bit of a different keyword, just because I want to get more volume in here. So we're going to do social media marketing. Yeah, let's do that one. This was going to give us a lot of information, because obviously it's a super popular keyword, but I want you to see the potential of this tool, right? So when you kind of put in your keyword social media marketing, what it's going to do, it's going to give me a number of things. It's going to give me some questions that I can actually create content around, which is awesome, because your blog posts, these are blog ideas right here. So when you kind of scroll down, you get this chart, this mind map, and it literally says, everything that's appending the what word or the can or when or who, and then you just kind of go through them. What is it? What social media marketing looks like? I mean, that's the blog post. That's a topic. So depending on what your keyword is, Answer the Public will then kind of give you all these ideas. This is another list that you need to take down and put on a spreadsheet so you can start kind of looking at what you've gotten from Ubersuggest, kind of looked at Google Trends, and now with this, what you've ended up with, and start kind of removing the duplicates and kind of making sure that you have a solid keyword. And even you might get ideas for more blog posts, obviously. But in this first section, as you can see, you get the questions. And then we get the prepositions here section, and it kind of has the is, to, for, can, without, near, with. So this is extremely important once again, and it's really up to you. This is where it kind of becomes a skill, because once you have all those keywords, you have to make a decision. You need to bucket some of these keywords with which keywords are going to go into this page, which keywords are going to go into another page, right? So these are kind of the tricks of the trade that sometimes you just have to really kind of consult with somebody, or if you got a good idea, you just have to look at the keywords that are mostly related and sprinkle those on one page. So we'll scroll down here a little further because they have a ton. Comparison. These are just more blog ideas. This is not even something that would go on the same page. This is actually something that you can create more blog posts on. And we get to the bottom. So this right here is one area that I think gets skipped quite a bit. But what they did here is literally strip out all the important keywords and put them in alphabetical order based on, when I say the keywords, it's all the keywords they pulled out of their database. And they put them in alphabetical order. So it's really easy for you to copy this and put it into a spreadsheet. So then you can filter and get rid of all the duplicates that you've gotten from your past tools and strategies that you ran. Okay, so that is answerthepublic.com. Okay. And then the final kind of method that I have, I like to call this one the alphabet soup, just because it's basically what it is. It's almost like an alphabet soup. You are going to Google. Hopefully you're doing business in the location where you're at. The only reason I say that is because I'm in Guam, and maybe I can be running a real estate investing company in California, right? And if I'm doing my keyword research in Guam and I haven't changed my geolocation here on my browser, it's going to give me results based on Guam, right? So if you're in California, right, maybe in San Diego, California, and you do business in San Diego, California, then you are good to go. I actually used a geolocator here, changer, that tricks the browser to tell them that I'm in Los Angeles. So that way I can see what Los Angeles, if I'm doing research for you guys, depending on what your location is, and I do that. But you guys don't need to do that. This is just kind of showing you, I'm going to be doing something for Los Angeles here. But if I was trying to kind of come up with ideas, and we kind of use this one right now for we buy houses in, I put an A instead of an O, but it gave me Las Vegas, gave me Los Angeles, just by this right here. This is what this alphabet soup is all about. I'm going to click back. So this is important because when you get there, as you start typing, Google's literally giving you your keyword list right here. So these are the suggestions, right? So this is the real-time stuff. This is what a lot of people don't get, that this information is what's happening now. This is the closest you're going to get to real data of what keywords are actually ranking well. So if it's not here, it's because Google doesn't have enough data and it's not being searched. So here, as we start typing it in, maybe we want to get very specific and we put Los Angeles, right? And I just have to put Los, and it starts getting me, no, you spelled it wrong. But Las Vegas is good. So let's put O. There we go. It even give me Louisiana and other areas, London, things like that are actually trending and ranking. So if we click here, so these, if you have anything that's related to Los Angeles additional in here, let's see if there is. We buy houses local. That's a good keyword because it's not geolocated, but that's a good one. That's trending. That one's London. That one's just logo. So it seems like there's only two good keywords here, but we're going to click on this anyway. Now we go to the second stage of this method here. Now you've gotten those keywords from whatever you're typing in, right? You're typing in that right there and you're good to go. But now you get here. Now, the first thing that you're going to see is the ads here at the top. So these are the ones that people pay money to actually rank here, meaning if they created a landing page or something like that, then they pay Google X amount of money to appear here, then that's what these are. But what I'm going to say here, I'm going to give a tip. These guys, if they're paying money, that means they probably paid somebody to write the content. They probably spend a lot of time figuring things out. So these are actually good ideas to sometimes click on. Now, I wouldn't be too mean to these guys because every time you click on them, you cost them money. So what I like to do, I'm a marketer as well, so I know what's going on the back end. I like to kind of write these down or copy these URLs and then look them up on a different browser. That way I'm not costing them any money by clicking from here, okay? But what I'm getting at there is that these are great content ideas. Some of them are short and sweet because that's what landing pages are, but it might be snippets that you can use on your content that's longer and more in detail, right? So this is where we get a lot of ideas for our content. The next thing that you get here is the map pack here. So this map pack, these are good ideas because these titles sometimes are very optimized to rank here. So this is another area where you can pull keywords. And what I mean by this title is a keyword. This title is a keyword, right? You might even start seeing the company name. Don't worry about it. You just replace it with your company name. And this is where you start kind of adding to your list of keywords. Okay, so all this. Now we're going to scroll down, and this is basically what's called the organic rankings. This is where they start. This is where we call free, right? So you don't need to necessarily pay any money to rank in these organic sections, but it does take some effort, especially when there's competition, other people like you trying to rank for certain keywords for that industry. So in this case, I know MissPropertySolutions.com very well. They are not one of our clients, but they've been somebody that I've been kind of following for years. We actually just got a Los Angeles, actually two, that general area clients. So we'll be competing. That's our kind of goal to outrank these guys. But they've done a very good job on optimizing their content, doing their keyword research. So these top rankings, I would stick to these top three. Go ahead and look at their titles, put them on your list. Go ahead and look at their they're kind of like their what's called a meta description here, and try to see the highlighted words here. Put those on your list. And then what you're going to do, and you're going to do that for the top three here, and then you're going to scroll down to the very bottom. And once again, Google is just giving you free keywords, all these right here. Obviously, you're going to make the final decision because if you're writing something about Los Angeles, maybe the California one works, but guess what? The Arizona one does not, right? So you got the Connecticut one does not. So you got to make that decision where which ones are going to fit for your campaign. Okay. So it gives you everything here. And that's the one I call the alphabet soup because you can literally go back up to the keyword. And as you type in more or less, they give you different keywords. So it's funny how every time you move the cursor 1 or 2 spaces, the keywords change. Which means if you continue to read them, you can probably continue to add to your list of keywords and start getting more deeper and deeper information. And this is coming directly from Google, which is why I kind of added it to today's lesson, because this is an easy, free way to get a lot of good keywords for your content. Okay. All right.
Roger,
so
Roger, quick question.
Yes, sir.
So the intent of all this is to have simply a library of key phrases that match up well, and then when you do your blog to sprinkle this in there to make sure that you're going to get captured.
Exactly. That's exactly. So that's what we're actually moving to, Sal. Next is what the heck do you do with all this keywords? You did all this work, right? And you have all this stuff. How do I utilize it? Obviously, I kind of gave you a little bit of tips on how to get some ideas, content ideas, but the next part here is probably, I'm going to show you an example, and that way you can kind of go through it, and we'll try to kind of keep it very, very simple here in case there's more questions in depth. So I'm going to show you an actual client of ours. Let me see here. We'll do the quick search here. Whoops. So we buy houses, Charlotte, NC. That's a North Carolina, Charlotte kind of keyword, right? So we currently are kind of working with the client, and here they are. mavpropertygroup.com. It stands for Maverick Property Group. So they're ranking #1 based on all this work. So let's look at what we did to their content, right? How we utilize this entire process. First, we went through the entire keyword research and what it looks like, how we laid everything out. Okay. So let's pretend, because we've gone through the process, we did our keyword research, and you just have this unorganized, basically, list of keywords. And you were very intentional. You're actually looking for stuff in Charlotte, right? So you would have that. So we're going to click here on this link. And basically, it's going to redirect me to their location page for Charlotte. And we're going to dissect how we kind of started laying things out. #1, we did the trends. And at that time, I mean, we've been running with this over a year now. So with the trends, and I am going to throw this in, they did not do our advanced SEO process from the start. They were foundations, our lowest package for a number of years. I think it was like almost 6 or 8 months. So everything was marinating. They're just with our lowest package, it was just marinating and doing, getting the authority with Google. Not that they were ranking #1, but they were getting acknowledged because of how everything was optimized, right? But once they came on board with the higher package, then we started doing backlinks, which we'll talk about next week. But we started doing some higher optimization, and that's where everything started moving up, and until they got to where they're at. Now, do you need to go to our highest package to rank #1? Absolutely not. It depends on your competition. And that's how we start looking at it. If you're with us for a couple months and just stuff is not looking, you're ranking, but you're on page 5, then it's worth it for us to look at it and start giving some consulting, right? And seeing if it's worth for you to move up to the next package to start moving the needle a little more. So with Maverick Property Group, we took our keywords and we kind of started laying them out in kind of like an outline format. It's like, what do we want to be our main keyword? We buy houses, Charlotte, NC. That had the most search. That was the one that had the most trends, right? But look here, this is actually coded on the back end a little differently. So Google knows that this is a secondary, kind of like a subtitle. Sell my house fast, Charlotte. So we hit it with the 2 top keywords for primary, secondary. And then as we scroll down, we'll start noticing some what's called accessory keywords, which are just variations of the keywords that ended up on our list. And we just started utilizing those for content topics, right? Content titles. So sell your Charlotte NC home in 3 simple steps. Just a different way to say it. Every time you change a word or the way it's formatted, the word, it's a new keyword. So as we start going down, you'll start noticing that, let me go down a couple further, but it's just a lot of different variations that are related to this topic, right? So that's how you start utilizing your list of keywords. So do it off of the website, do it on like a Google Doc or whatever document that you have, but outline it. All your keywords that you like, put them as headers, right? Put them as titles. Obviously, you're going to choose your main one and then put it as titles. And then once you have that outline completed, then it's easy because now you have to just create paragraphs underneath each main title like this. Sell a house the easy way, right? Boom. Well, I know we don't have a geolocate, but we saw this as a keyword. So then we write a little bit about what we do to make it easy for you to buy a house or sell a house or whatever it might be for your business, right? We even added a picture of a before and after. That's just adding a little more kind of like eye-catching and a little more optimization. But this is how you're going to come up with your content. And if you can't figure out what to write about under a certain topic, just pop in your keyword into Google, go search the first 3 top results. And then what you're going to get is some content. And this content's going to be real long, but you don't need a lot of content. You just need maybe 1 or 2 paragraphs for this section. Well, go read one of those blog posts and try to rewrite some of their content to fit in this section. And you keep building that little by little. Next thing you know, you're at about 1,000 words or more, which is awesome because keyword count does count for rankings based on the competition. If the competition has a very good piece of content, they have 1,000 words, you better have 1,500 words and your content better be good, right? So that's why the word count does count when it comes to rankings as well. So that's how you're going to outline your keywords. Now, not that you're going to, if you have 50 keywords, you're not going to have 50 titles, right? It's not going to happen. It's going to be too long of a page. It needs to make sense. So once you have your outline that makes sense with the titles, maybe you have 15, but you still have a number of keywords that are related to this topic. That's when you take those keywords and you sprinkle them throughout the content itself, throughout the body of the content inside. So why are we doing all this work? Because it's a lot of work, right? It's a lot of work to kind of go through all this. Like, why the heck are we doing it? Well, the biggest complaint we get when people come over from another platform, come over to Top Results, is my website doesn't work. It doesn't rank. I can't find my company. I can't do anything. This is what it takes. You have to tell Google where you want to rank and what keywords you want to rank. If you have a website that says you're a real estate investor and you talk about yourself and you keep it very general, they don't know where else to go, right? They don't know what else you do or where to rank you. So when you start getting very specific on each page on what I want this page to rank for, obviously Google knows that I want it to rank for We Buy Houses in Charlotte, NC, because I say it a couple times. And I also want it to rank for Sell My House Fast in Charlotte, NC. Well, guess what? Google knows where I'm located and what I'm trying to do and what we offer. Now, we go steps further. This is kind of like now taking more steps. You've used your data that you learned today to get through the content. Now, what else can you do? Obviously, next week, we'll be discussing some of the backlinks, but I'm going to show you so we can get more in detail next week. But we run a press release. That's why you're able to have these here, the ABC, CBS, Fox, NBC stuff. That's because you run a press release that mentions your company. The other thing that's huge, video. We actually leverage YouTube. This is a very simple, video that just talks about they buy houses. It's nothing special. What's special about it is how we optimized it. We actually made sure that we put this video on YouTube. We optimized the title with a keyword. Then we optimized the description with a bunch of keywords. And then we added a link to link back to this page. So from Google, there's a link back to this page, which gives us a backlink, which gives it a little more authority, more power to this page. And the final thing that we have here is images. There is a lot of stuff going out there that's just duplicate images. You don't get dinged for that, meaning you don't get penalized or anything for using stock images. The only time you get penalized if you use images that aren't yours that you should have paid for or you just stole from somebody, right? So you want to use either your own or you want to get stock imagery that you bought or that's just 100% free, right? But what I recommend to add a little more power to your pages is stuff like this. Something that has it's a personalized touch, right? So as we scroll up, number one, this is a stock image, but guess what? It's an image of Charlotte. So it's very it's very driven. We do a little more to kind of make sure Google knows that, but this is huge. Then you scroll down. Well, there's the team. This is the team. This is Tom and his family. So this right here, once again, this does not exist anywhere else. This is their picture, which is unique. Then we scroll down a little more. This one right here, again, our team created a before and after image. This does not exist on Google. It's brand new. So the reason this is important, the reason I point this out is because now images rank. I was just on a call with Jackie and Maria earlier talking a little bit about logos. And I was giving them some ideas on how to find logos on Google Images. Well, that's logos that are ranking on Google. Guess what? All these images that you add to your content, if they're unique, they will also rank on Google, which is awesome for your overall ranking and authority. So that's kind of the image portion. And then what we have here is now a very optimized piece of content that Google kind of knows exactly what it is, what you do, who you are, and now starts building that trust. Now, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing here. And for next week, what we're going to take this knowledge, we're going to put it all together because you've done all the on-page stuff. You kind of know the technical portions of a website and everything, all the inner workings. You know how to do your keyword research. You know how to structure a page with keywords. And then the final piece, which is going to be next week, is how do we make noise out on the internet? How do we make noise out there to make sure we start getting some votes back? That's basically the backlinking strategy, which we'll discuss next week. So I'll go ahead and stop there, guys. I'll open it up for questions on today's lesson and see if I can help out with anything like that. So my team is on here. So if you guys see something on the chat, guys, just let me know. But for now, anybody can go ahead and unmute and just shoot out your questions.
I got a bunch.
Go ahead, Steven.
Okay, first I want to say I like the use of Alphabet. That was kind of ingenious. For those who don't know, Alphabet is the parent company of Google. What effect does having too many of those keywords have on your rankings? I've seen soup of someone just splattering all the words on there. At what point does it become not effective and hinder you?
It's the website.
Absolutely. That's actually a great question. Now, everything that I say here is, once again, it's one of those things. It's arbitrary. Is it real? Is it the full truth? It's based on data that I have, right? So based on the data that I have, what Steven's talking about is taking your list of 100 keywords and stuffing them into an article that's 1,000 words, right? So that's like every other word is saying your keyword probably, or something like that. It's called keyword stuffing. Now that is looked down upon, and it has kind of shown, according to our data and the stuff that we've researched, that doesn't work, right? It used to work probably 5-6 years ago. It does not work anymore. The rule of thumb that we like to use is between 3 to 5 times total. If we have 1,000 words, we're probably going to use our keyword 3 to 5 times at the max. But most of the time, you'll notice that we use it about 3 times. So that's the rule of thumb that we use to make sure that we don't get dinged or anything like that in regards to keyword stuffing.
So that's the specific keyword. What about the derivatives of that keyword? Like you've made your list.
Sure. So the main primary keyword and secondary keyword are probably the most important, right? So 3 to 5 times total if you have a content piece of over 1,000 words, right? If you have anything shorter, I just stick to the rule of thumb of 3, right? Just don't go over that. Your additional keywords, the little ones, those right there, it depends, because don't make it natural, right? If you're going to use it once and it just does not fit on another paragraph, does not make sense anymore, then don't use it again. But if it naturally fits somewhere else, absolutely, because that's what Google's looking for. If you happen to use a keyword 10 times, but it fits naturally, it just flows with the content, there's no problem. The problem here is that we're SEOs and we're trying to stuff them in without getting flagged, right? So that's why we're careful with the amount of times we're putting in there. But if you guys naturally write a piece of content and you're naturally using that keyword multiple times and you go over my rule of thumb of 3 to 5, don't worry about it. As long as you're like looking at it, you read it, you even show it to your business partner or friend, and they're like, does this sound natural? Does, you're good. It works.
And then I just want to call on the Answer to Public page. If you click that download CSV, it'll actually give you all those words for you that are listed on the bottom. So you have to copy pasta and just download the CSV and it's all there for you.
That's actually a great tip, Steven, that I forgot to kind of show, but yeah, you can actually download that CSV file so you don't have to copy and paste it into your spreadsheet. That's a good one.
Is metadata used anymore?
Absolutely. Metadata, absolutely. So that metadata that Steven is talking about, we actually help you. If you guys create a piece of content, I don't want, a lot of you guys are kind of like just beginning, right? Trying to kind of grasp even the concept of SEO or the concept of having an optimized website. So what I want to say is to Steven's a little more advanced. Absolutely, Steven. And you kind of know where that at. For the rest of you that might not know what the metadata is or how to work that, that's why you have us. Even if you're at the foundations level, what we would rather you focus on creating a piece of content, creating a blog post, right? Creating an optimized blog post based on what I just taught you, send it over. We will help you create the meta descriptions and meta tags and all that stuff on the blog post. And Steven, I know you know what you're doing, but we'll help you too, man. Don't worry about it.
I'll give up the platform and ask my others later.
So Sean, those of us that had, Roger, those of us that have had a website built by TRC, we should assume that there's keywords embedded in there already and moving forward from there. What if I wanted to focus in on we have a county where the divorce rate is 80%, okay, and I wanted to focus my keywords on divorce with the website. Is there something that we can do with that?
Absolutely. So I'm going to give you a sneak peek to next week because that's what we're going to start looking. So
Okay.
say, Sal, yes, the first answer to your first question, should you assume that your pages are optimized? When you guys, if you're kind of more recent, if you're kind of older clients, been with us for over maybe 6 months, maybe you didn't see this, but now we have an onboarding process where we ask you your 6 locations, right? Your main 6 locations. We're asking that because those are the SEO pages. Those are the ones we're going to focus and make sure they're optimized for where you want to rank. Now, that's kind of the first question. Yes, and that's where the SEO pages are. They're the location pages. Now, your second question is, sorry, I'm having it's coming to me.
It was having a specific market and then finding the key phrases for that. Let's say divorce.
That's right.
And
That's right. You're going more towards the blogs. So when you have a city page that's geared towards, I was just using San Diego, California as an example. I have the location page that's geared towards that. And if you guys already have that, if you're with us, right? But you want to now be very specific and go after people are going through a divorce. Well, now you're going to create a blog post, right? Now you're going to go through this entire process, but you're not going to be looking for We Buy Houses. You're going to be looking for a keyword that you might throw in as something that you would put in. Put yourself in their shoes and put in going through a divorce and need my house, sell my house. Going through a divorce and need to sell my house. Okay. You know, put that in. You'll start getting a bunch of results and probably kind of take some notes and then go through my process. Watch this video, go through Ubersuggest and just follow all that. By the end of your process, you'll end up with a big list of keywords just for divorce. You might end up with multiple ideas for multiple blog posts just around divorce. Now, what I would recommend for all of you guys that are more local is, say, I used the San Diego example, is you create something, are you going through a divorce and need to sell your house in San Diego? You append the location, because once you have a blog post that's very specific to a location, now we can do what's called interlinking and interlink that piece of content over to the location. So that gives us multiple ways for call to actions. So when someone finds that article, because let's be realistic, people are not going to be looking for your company. They're going to be asking a question, and we want them to find our blog post. And then when they read it and they're like, man, yes, this is exactly what I need, we want to be able to create a call to action, meaning a button or a link that links them over to the selling page, which is the location page. And now they start landing on there. Now they're like, oh man, you buy housing, you do all this stuff, and boom, I'm going to opt in and see if I can talk to you. Does that answer your question, Sal?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Any other questions, guys?
All right, I'm going to jump back in if no one else.
Sure, go for it.
All right, so on that trends.google page, I just want to call out for people that we saw that big map there. If you click on the map for your specific location that you're working in, that'll actually zoom in and give you information specific to that area. So if you have a target market, you can use that data too for more fine grained rather than just US wide. You had mentioned that the images rank, and I was wondering specifically how those are determined. Is it for the alt tags? Is it via the EXIF? Is it via the file name that's on your site? Do you have any insight into that?
Great question. All of the above. So for images, guys, we'll keep it simple. I'll kind of give the technical terms, but not everybody has the tools to bake in the geotag, right? So what you can do to make sure that your images, if you have your own images, and you're like, all right, I want to make sure I do everything that I can to try to rank these images as well. So number one thing that you can do that's very simple is name your file. So a lot of times you take a picture and you upload it to your website. Well, the file name gets read by Google. They read that file name. So a file name sometimes is like 1246-AB6- whatever, right? Whatever the camera kind of gave you. But if you go into if you resave that and you actually make the file name We Buy Houses San Diego, you just change the whole parameter there to now Google's like, wait a minute, this image is about buying houses. What? And then when we upload it, once again, you have us on your team. So this is something that you probably could get a tutorial on how to do it on WordPress. But when you send those type of images in and they're renamed, we help you add what's called an alt tag or alt text. And we actually have an opportunity in the alt text is alternative text. Is basically we get to write a description of what's on that image. And guess what we do? We add a keyword. So that's another way to optimize it even further, right? And we help you do that once you send those things through. And then the third part is there are tools that help you actually geotag an image. It bakes in the coordinates of an image itself. And this is something that I had done actually a lesson a couple months back. A lot of you guys actually used it, but you bake in the coordinates of an image and it helps basically tell Google more in detail. If all your contents talk about Charlotte and all your images have coordinates on addresses within Charlotte, then that page is basically going to rank very well when someone does We Buy Houses Charlotte, right? Very specific. So it's easy. It's just another way to really speak to Google at a higher level and tell them exactly where you're at. So Stephen, yes, all of the above are still big. Not everybody can do them. And that's why when we do our higher end kind of like packages and campaigns, we check every annoying box, right? Every little thing that you can do, we try to knock that out. There's about 200 different factors. We can't hit them all, but we try to hit the best ones for depending on the industry. But those are the little things that we hit that most people just find them annoying and they don't do. Well, guess what? We outrank them and then they start questioning, why does Maverick Property Group rank so higher than us? Then we've been in business longer than they have. We get that all the time. And Tom from the company is kind of looking at it, but they're ranking so high because we checked more boxes than they did. It's all about outranking your competition. If you can do that, you'll start seeing the needle move within your rankings.
And my very final question is, how do you get to become the answer from an Alexa search?
How do you say that again?
How do you get to become the answer for an Alexa search or a Google search? Like
how do you
voice.
Oh, yeah. No problem. So yeah, optimizing for voice. So number one is, I don't know. I don't know the exact kind of algorithm on how you're going to get there, but optimizing for voice is basically, so for those of you that don't have no idea what we're talking about, voice search, think about your phones, Siri, Alexa, what is it, Google Home or something like that, where you ask questions. So how do you get to be that result? Because all they can give is one, right? So what the tricky part there is that it's new. And the whole algorithm and how it's kind of working, they're still testing a lot of that. It was kind of like, well, it was new last year and this year kind of got a little smarter. But what's happening is your content on your website needs to be human readable because they don't want to respond with cut, what is it? Because the computer has to read your titles and your keywords and respond to the person that's asking that question exactly how it's written. So a lot of these keywords, you'll notice they're choppy, and we'll still use them as your SEO professionals. We know that they'll help you in Google rankings, but not necessarily help you on something like voice search, right? So within the voice search, we try to add phrases that actually are, if the keyword's missing an N or an A or something like that to make it sound English correct, right? Then you might want to, remember the rule of 3 or 5, how many times? One of those you might want to put in where it reads correctly, right? Because that's the only way right now that I know how you can potentially have an opportunity to also win those voice searches. And it goes back, what's your goal, your overall goal for your website? Because all these different search kind of like goals have different strategies. So you have to kind of start somewhere. To your point, you're probably already running, Stephen. So it might be good to go back to a page that you're like, all right, I'm seeing the needle move, but I want to test out some things on trying to rank for voice. So let me see if I want to make sure all my titles sound natural, right? If it's missing an A or an N or the or whatever it might be, you might want to go back and add them in there. Not to all of them. You want to add them to 1 or 2 of your 3 that you have sprinkled throughout the page.
Okay.
All right, guys. Any more questions?
I got one. So like
Jacob.
we get some content uploaded, we get a blog, on our main website, what is the best way? Like, we do a lot of social media stuff to like share that blog and, you know, get it across different platforms. Like, would you suggest like literally copying the URL at the top and pasting it on Facebook and or wherever, and it's just got that little thumbnail thing at the bottom? Or is there something that you can do TRC style and like the coding and whatnot that we can like literally get on our website, open the blog, and at the bottom, usually how it's got like the little share thing, like hit share that and share it like right to our page? Is that something that you're able to do?
Yeah, that's probably the better option. And this is basically this is the hard part of digital marketing, and it's good and bad, right? Because it's changing every day. If you would have talked to us maybe 2 years ago, we were all over the strategy on let's get as much noise possible, take that link, paste it into Facebook or whatever it might be, and have it render there. Let people click on it and redirect to your blog post. You've noticed recently, Sean's been really kind of putting down the hammer, right? And kind of telling you guys, hey, don't put links, because there is social media platforms have changed their algorithm. Why? Because you got to think about it. They're businesses as well. And that's why it's tricky here with your question, because yes, I would love to put a link and make it super easy for someone to just click it and go to the website. The problem with that is that social media platforms got smart and they said, if we let you do that, that means you're taking people off of my platform and you're sending them to your website. We don't want that. We want them to stay here. We want as much data from these people as possible, which is now we're kind of pushing towards, man, we got to find a different strategy. So it's more awareness, right? It's like that you do stuff with divorce, that you do stuff with foreclosure, and more kind of like a post talking about that for them to go to your website and look for that stuff, unfortunately. But to your point, could we add that to a blog post and put like share icons on the blog post itself? So when someone finds you and really likes that piece of content, wants to share it with their audience, they're not worried about digital marketing. They're worried about putting it out there to their audience. That is 100% like a great strategy that we should probably look at your blogs. And if possible, we can probably add something like that, because that's a better strategy than just sharing that link. And the other thing that you guys should know why is what we've seen, or the information that's out there right now. If you do share too many of those links, basically the amount of people that get to see that post drops dramatically. So what's the point? This is basically where mine and Sean's and our team's position comes from with not sharing those. Like, what's the point of putting a blog post out there, a link, having it show up, and you're like, yeah, it's there. People can access my blog real easy. Well, guess what? What if that number, a percentage of people seeing it, goes dramatically down because Google's like, nope, or I'm sorry, Facebook or whatever platform you're doing this on says, nope, we're only going to show it to 1% or 2%, or not even at all, right, to your followers. Then it defeats the purpose. And it's a hard one. It was a hard choice to go on, but that's the way that the industry is going.
And maybe you can give us some maybe advice on this. I think Jordan got kind of crafty, and so like we got a property that's like finished construction, and it's like something that we're going to rent out. Well, we're running it through Cozy, Slack, like our leads are coming in through Cozy and we're redirecting them, or I'm sorry, HubSpot. And then like we are kind of just started this new template, I guess. Like, we're creating a blog post to kind of tell about the property, hyperlinking some stuff in there. And then it's like, hey, to apply to this for this property, we put the link in down there, and then it's like directing them to Cozy, and then we're like sharing that on there. So it's like pulling all these.
I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm Roger. You guys set it up for us to where they can submit a form on our page. When they submit the form, when they click apply, it redirects them to an actual application, an online application. But to your point, you can't just put the URL out there because it doesn't get seen nearly as much. So the only thing you can really do with Facebook is post pictures, give some content, share it to the groups, but you don't want to put any links there. So we're trying to use like Linktree in our bio and redirect people to go click on the link in our bio instead of putting direct links on our posts. And that seems to be working a little bit better.
Yeah, that's actually a really good strategy. Another one. And once again, we're just getting crafty here, guys. The algorithms will change. This conversation will be different probably next year, right? But right now, it's crazy, right? It's like, so right now, putting your link in the bio sections still works. But one thing that I can say that we are doing when it makes sense is when we really want a link, right? We want to say, let's just call it a blog post. We really want people to go to this blog post, put your post up there, right? And then in the comments is where, once again, just going off of data that's out there right now in our test, is the post is out there, has no links in the comment, basically where you did your post, but in the comments where people can actually comment, there you can put your link. But it actually works better if you have other people interacting with it, right? So give you a little bit of, inside baseball here on what you can do. Leverage your friends, leverage your family, leverage it. Like, if you have something that's super important, you want to get it out there, beat the algorithm. That's what we do, right? So you got to beat the algorithm. So get people to click on that post, then add a comment with the link. And that way, boom, you covered all your ends, and that will be seen by the maximum amount of people that they're going to allow you. And the link will be in the comments. Hopefully that kind of helps out, because that's another thing that a lot of people don't leverage is, I'm not getting any hits on this one. No one's liking this. Well, you have to manufacture some of that stuff sometimes to get the needle going, right? Get the needle moving for you guys. And you can do that very easily by just leveraging 2-3 people on one post. Then put your comment, put the link, and boom, you're off to the races. The maximum amount of people out Facebook's can allow you to see that will happen no matter what.
I think Sean might have even mentioned staying away from that a little bit. So I've kind of tried to test it out. You should wait about 30 minutes to an hour after you post, and then put the link down in the comments so that it doesn't like really ruin your reach within the first 5 minutes. You just wait for about an hour, let the post float throughout the Facebook world, and then put your link in the comments.
Yeah, and that's where I'm coming from with the manufacturing your clicks, right? At times, just so there's interaction. And to your point, let it marinate a little bit, and then just respond with the comment with the link. Once again, for those of you that this is brand new, because we're getting into kind of like testing and what works, what doesn't. If this doesn't make a lot of sense or is getting a little confusing, don't worry about it, because this is stuff that, these are open conversations that, once somebody here within our network does something that works, we find it, boom, we share it here. So it's to be announced. But I want to connect with you, Jordan, and Jacob, see what you guys are doing there, see if there's anything new, because that's a major thing right now. We're doing a ton of social media, and right now we're sticking with posts, keeping it safe, but we want to break out of that algorithm, see how we can get a little crafty and help you guys out a little further.
Yeah, we're doing some creative things right now, and it seems to be working pretty well. We're getting a ton of hits on our. The other thing I want to talk to you about is the page you guys set up for me for the new rental. We're able to grab their contact info before they even are allowed to apply for the property, and that seems to be working big time. We're getting a ton of action on our page just because of that little feature, and it was really easy to do.
Nice. All right. Yeah, it's always good to hear, man. Let's see here. Any more questions? I know we're probably 17 minutes over the hour here, so any more questions, guys, before we wrap her up? Nope. All right, then we will see you next week. Next week, we're going to be covering link building and recap, just kind of bring everything together and finish this off for this series. So we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for showing up today, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Roger.
Bye, y'all.